Hello and welcome back to Living the Jacket. I'm your host, Carlene Gilliam, and today we have a very special guest all the way from Alaska. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Liam Wade. I'm currently serving as this year's state president for Alaska FFA. I'm originally from the North Pole FFA chapter, and I'm super excited to be here today.
Awesome, and we're so glad to have you. Just so y'all know, it's a 4-hour time difference, and it's 9 a.m. right now. So he's working on 5 a.m. So he's definitely pulling through. So grateful to have him today. It's amazing for someone so far and so different from Virginia weather to be on the podcast and share their story. So going to our first question, what is your FFA story?
Yes, my FFA story will take me back to about 2023. I'm sitting in my English class, and over the intercom, I hear, anybody interested in joining the new FFA chapter of North Pole FFA, please come down to our lunchroom. And I'm like, holy cow, I think I've heard of FFA, not that familiar with it. We didn't have one at our school for a bunch of years. And when I go down to this room at lunch, there's this old crotchety man, and he is looking at all these kids like fresh meat, just trying to pick them out. And he comes up to me and he says, "How old are you?" And I say, I'm 14, sir. And he says, "Can you public speak?" And of course, like any good FFA student, I say, "Of course, I can 100% do that," knowing I couldn't do it one bit. He said, "Okay, great. You are going to do creed speaking." And from there on out, it's history.
Oh my gosh. I feel like how everything in FFA starts. You just get put into a competition. That is so crazy. Oh my gosh. It was a new chapter?
New chapter. So my state's relatively young on the relative scale. So I think Virginia is just celebrating their 100th this past year, right?
Yes, we just did.
Alaska just celebrated our 50th. So we're incredibly young on the scale of national FFA. And we just celebrated 50 years. And my chapter was one of the chartering chapters of our state's association. But we went under for a couple of years during COVID, and it's so inspiring to be a part of a group that was able to bring my chapter back from the dead.
That's crazy. And then to be in 3 years of FFA, and then to go to be a state officer.
Yeah, it's especially insane because I started off pretty much from bare bones. We had no idea about FFA in general, and we were just kind of trying to pick up whatever we could from our remnants. And I was in full throttle. Our ag advisor, he was retired. He wasn't fully involved in the program, so we relied on having to learn everything ourselves. So to have to teach myself AET was especially a challenge.
Oh my gosh.
And it's something that set me up for a great deal of success because I taught myself how to teach myself about this industry that I had no idea about so that I could pursue a future in this organization, which I found such a special place for.
Oh, that's amazing. And I can hear your dedication to it, and it's so great to just hear that and looking on your social media, I can tell you just love it. I love your TikToks, I love the Instagram reels. Oh my gosh, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I love National FFA. I think National FFA, this might be pretentious, but I think National FFA might be the greatest student-run organization in American history. And might I say the world's history, because I truly think that in its coming up on 100 years, that it has pushed out some of the greatest leaders, some of the greatest farmers, some of the greatest ranchers, some of the greatest Americans I think this country's ever seen. I think it's pushed out amazing fathers and mothers that other organizations can't create. And I'm so proud to be a part of this chapter of our organization's history.
I love that, and I honestly I do agree because I've never seen an organization where it's like passed down through generations. Like I've heard families that
Exactly.
have like 3 generations in FFA, and I'm like, what in the world? I've never heard that.
Yeah, did you come from a generational FFA legacy?
No, I'm my first generation, so, like, I would love to pass it down to kids and, like, to honestly anybody. That's kinda why I made the podcast, honestly, and I was very inspired by your podcast as well that, like, to pass down in that kinda way, to at least get my footing in
Mhm.
showing FFA is this organization who just loves and who cares for the world and people in it, and doesn't matter if you're a first generation, third generation farmer, if you've been in a fae, if you haven't, like, I just love it so much.
Mhm. Yeah, I personally didn't grow up in an agricultural background, and that's something that has always given me a little bit of challenge in FFA, be it from my own self determination or from people maybe looking down on me because I didn't grow up on a huge farm. But it's always pushed me to learn the most that I can and be the best that I can in an industry that always is constantly changing. And it's it's been a challenge at times, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's such an incredible experience that has improved my life and truly has changed it for the better.
Yeah, I love that, and I didn't realize you were so similar in that way too. That's crazy, like, you can connect from someone all the way in Alaska that, like, you guys had the same story, and I love that about FFA, that it just you can connect in so many ways on people you never thought you would, and that's so crazy to me.
Yeah, I think that connection is truly what kept me at FFA for so long. I've had a lot of moments of self doubt over the past couple of years that I've been at FFA, and a lot of moments of discouragement. But the connections that I've made through FFA have always been the one to push me through, be it with friends in my own personal chapter, friends outside of FFA, or friends 3,000 miles away. I think all of them contribute to my success, and I wouldn't be here without any of them.
Yeah, and that's so great because we always need those mentors, the people to like hang on to get through FFA. That's what our advisors are for. And that's really great to hear that you had such great people in your life, even through the ups and downs, that you still stuck through and look where you are now. And that's so amazing to see that. Just like a little bit of time put into one kid can grow them into this amazing, strong leader that's literally leading a whole entire state.
Yeah, I think it's such a crucial part of FFA that I know a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on their advisors and the amount of success that they've led them to. But I honestly don't think it's even enough. I think it's an understatement to say how much our ag teachers and our advisors are doing for students in the United States. These ag teachers are changing lives in monumental ways that I don't think you're going to find in any other curriculum, any other class. You're never going to hear somebody say that their calculus teacher inspired them to go be a calculus teacher. It just doesn't happen very often. But there's something so special about agriculture and the way that it requires a kid to be hands on and get involved in the product of their toil and the inspiration that comes from an ag teacher that all combines into something so beautiful. And I personally didn't decide to go into ag education. It just wasn't my field, but I am endlessly inspired by the hundreds, if not thousands, of people every single year who are choosing to go into ag education throughout this organization.
Yeah, because they're basically gonna raise the future farmers of America, honestly, just as they were. Not to name drop, but but they literally are. And like kind of to go into that, like what has been your favorite memory while in FFA or like because of it?
Well, I have a couple, but most recently, I would have to put it as I was hanging out with a bunch of state officers attending Indiana State Convention, and we were in the National FFA Center. And we were with the National Eastern Region Vice President, Joey Nowotny.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just hanging out. And at one point in time, we were playing Nerf guns. And I was like, holy cow, how lucky am I to be in this situation surrounded by these leaders. Most of these leaders had already retired from their state office a year. I was with my previous president, because I was last year's state vice president. And I just thought, holy cow, everybody in this room right now is going to make tremendous change, not only in the change that they've already made in their associations, but also in their communities, their state, and their country, and even the world. And I'm fortunate enough to be spending this small moment, every single one of them, and I'm fortunate to know them in this chapter of their life when they're young and fun and playing Nerf guns in the National FFA Center. And I think those moments are really what kept me tied to FFA. I have a saying that keeps me going through my life, that moments make movements. And every moment that I am spending trying to make a connection or trying to improve my life or someone else's is a moment well spent. And that I need to be taking advantage of every single moment that I'm in and not letting anyone pass me by. So often when we're at these conventions or when we're at FFA events, it's early in the morning or it's late at night and all we want to do is sleep or we want to go do something else until it's time to hang up our jacket for the final time. And I got to experience that in a weird way this past April as I retired from state vice president. And as I was retiring from state vice president, I was also graduating. I was leaving behind not only 12 years of school, but I was leaving behind my chapter, being their support during the school day. I was leaving behind a team, and I was entering into a new era. I was entering into a new team with state office, and then I was entering into college. And despite being so proud of myself in that moment making state president, there's something to be said about taking all those moments in the past for granted and never stopping to realize how grateful I was for all the experiences that led me to that point. And it's really brought a new light to my day. Recently, T. Wayne gave an interview, and he said something that has stuck with me. And I'm not somebody who typically listens to quotes or prints them on my wall or has them as like a background on my phone. But he said that the greatest thing that you could have as a leader is tired feet. And I think about that pretty much every single day as a state officer now. I think about that every single day as I go through my work and my personal life. And what he means by that is if you have tired feet, it means that you showed up. It means that you got out of bed that morning and decided that you were going to be there in the moment and you were going to help and you were going to work hard as a leader. And that is all I could aspire to be in my FFA journey. And that is all I could aspire to be in everything that I hope to do for this organization in my time here and after I retire. We recently just celebrated our 50th annual convention. And there's something so special about being that crowning team of 50 years. And then looking forward to the next 50 towards the 100th. It's about what legacy do you want to leave behind for the future? What legacy do you want to leave for the half a century ahead? And the greatest legacy that I could ever find is to be forgotten. To have your name misplaced amongst dozens of other state officers who held your same role, who sat in your same position, spoke at the same tables as you. But while your name is forgotten, your impact is still there every single day in the association, in the organization. So I constantly ask myself, what can I do to leave this organization better than I found it? I think the small moments of connection are going to make movements in the organization larger than I could ever imagine or that I could ever hope to be an impact for. So I hope in FFA that I can have tired feet so I can make those moments, because I believe that those moments are going to make movements larger than anything I could ever imagine.
Yeah. I honestly, I love that. Cause like I'll never know what it's like to be a state officer. At least I don't I don't know if I will ever be one, but like right now I don't know. So to even be at
Mm-hmm.
convention and to have like sore feet, I'll never know what it's like to be a state officer with sore feet. Cause I literally, that's so funny. Cause I literally talked to Danica, who was our past state sentinel. She just retired, and
Mm-hmm.
she was talking to me how much her feet hurt, and I'm like, that's kind of like a full circle moment. I'm like, she literally had just told me that her feet hurt. We literally just saw them on the street, and then we said hi, and she's like, my feet hurt so bad, and I'm like, and you just said that. I'm like, that's so full circle. That's crazy.
Yeah. Tired feet is such an accomplishment. And okay, so I wear dress shoes and I'm on a team with fully girls. So I am one guy on a team of 4 girls, and it's a lot easier for them to get tired feet in heels. But I like to say that my dress shoes are equally as tiring, even though I fully know they're not.
Yeah, the heels are no joke, but I mean, they really do make the official dress though, I will say. They do make it. So,
They do. I can't lie.
so what advice would you give to new incoming FFA members wanting to look into FFA?
It's so basic, but take the leap. I think the only way that you're going to get everything out of the organization that you can is to possibly just take the leap. The leap of faith is such a strong thing, you know, it'll impact your life in ways that you could never comprehend. For example, I didn't know if I wanted to run for state office pretty much until I was filling out the paper. And I was incredibly scared to do something because I didn't know what lied on the other side of turning that paper in. If I would get state office, if I wouldn't. I figured if I spent my entire life thinking to myself, what could have been in that moment if I hadn't turned that paper in, I would have regretted it tenfold over any outcome that would have come from that paper, regardless. If I got accepted, if I got rejected, anything. I would have spent my entire life regretting knowing that I never decided to take that leap of faith. I think so often in this organization, we're going to find people who don't take that leap of faith for a dozen reasons. But the people who are going to take the leap of faith are going to be expedited to a level of success in a way that is unheard of. And 9 times out of 10, these people who are taking the leap of faith are falling over.
Mm-hmm.
But they're getting back up because they have that experience of taking the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
falling over is a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, that's, yeah. I totally agree, because like even like as just I'm going into my 4th year of FFA, I've fallen over like I don't even know how many times, or I've compared myself to other people in FFA. I'm like, I can never be up to their standards. And I feel a lot of us feel like that. That we couldn't be this, we couldn't be that because there's someone better than us. But I oftentimes find out that if I don't take the chance, I'm it's just like, why wouldn't I? Like, I'm gonna miss out on some kind of experience that I didn't learn from. But if I just,
Mhm.
I honestly, I often use this. It's widely known by use. You miss all the shots you don't take, and so
Yes.
I'm honestly like, if I don't take the shot, then I'm gonna miss it no matter what. So why
Mhm.
not try to get the bullseye? Try to get a 9, a 10, instead of just completely getting a 0.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
What are your hopes and dreams at FFA?
I hope to leave an impact. I want to leave, and I know it's basic, but I want to leave an impact to where members can be safe. They are free to express themselves in a way that may not be widely known, because it's not widely known about me, at least on the Living in the Jacket account, that I do theater, which is widely different
Mhm.
from FFA. So I often feel that
Mhm.
I'm misplaced, or that I don't fit in with everybody else. But I found that embracing my uniqueness and like things that aren't always in FFA, I find that it actually helps me in the long run. Like with theater, I feel that I've evolved my public speaking, but also with FFA, I
Mhm.
feel like I've gotten more confident in myself. So I just want to like show members that you can be yourself, and that it will honestly oftentimes help you in the long run with whatever you're going to do in life. So just leaving that impact on members that they can be who they want to be. And it doesn't matter what people say, just be you. So that's what I want.
I think that's absolutely incredibly inspiring. I think we're in an age of not even FFA, but just the world where we're asked to fit in such a way that is not conducive to being able to grow or being able to be a better person. And hearing stories like yours of wanting to stick out and using those outer experiences to help grow yourself within this organization and in your life is super inspiring.
Yeah. And your story
Th-
is so
Thank you
inspiring
for
as
being
well.
there. Yeah.
Of course. And thank you for sharing your story. It's amazing to hear, and I can't wait to see what you do this year or years after. Like, you're going to go so far. I can feel it. And that's just amazing to hear, to like we were saying earlier, like to see you at such a pivotal point, but also a young point in your life, and see the impact you're making
Mhm.
right now, and like your impact later is going to be so impactful and amazing, and it's going to like change lives.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Well, we have to wrap up, but is there anything else you would want to say to the listeners, viewers, anything you'd like to say?
Yes. Have tired feet. Those tired feet will walk you to places that you could never have imagined when you laid in bed. And that's my final message.
I love that. And I will for sure clip that so people can hear it. So I totally agree with that message, and I hope all of y'all take that message and use it to its full potential. Don't just take it at word, take it as words, take it as movements, take it as a way to evolve yourself, because we all come from a tiny little like a speck, but as we evolve, we can grow into something beautiful, as Liam has, as he will continue to grow. And then so leave your own little specks in people as well, because those will continue to grow other people. Just leave an impact, leave a legacy. As going into your 50th, our 100th, that was our biggest thing, was legacy. So just leave your impact in your legacy. I
Mhm.
love that. I'm gonna like write that on my wall now. But going into some
Thank you so much.
of course, going into some announcements for Virginia FFA. I don't know if Alaska has any, but the past guest, our last guest for Living in the Jacket was Ainsley Davis, and she was just recently elected as the 2026-2027 Virginia State President. So give it up for her. We are so proud of her at Living in the Jacket, and we can't wait to see what she does later on. And then we had some state teams. We did fairly well. I know my team, Ag Sales, we got 8th place in the state for that. And it was our first time doing it, so we're actually pretty proud of that. So to do a new competition is kind of scary, but we just took our foot out there and got 8th place, so we're pretty proud of that. So, of course, try new competitions. I would always say that. Try new competitions because you never know. But and then coming next week after this one, we're gonna have Virginia FFA Leadership Camp, which I know I'm going to, and then 2 other girls from my chapter are gonna go to. It's our smallest group that I've been with, but personally, I think that's kind of makes it better because you get to these people and you get to honestly meet more people. So I personally also FFA Camp is my favorite event out of the whole year. So the food's great. So of course, as an FFA member, I would say the food's great. But yeah, so that's all the announcements I have so far. Stay tuned to the next episode. Don't know who I'm gonna have on yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be a great group. Do you have anything else to say, Liam?
No, I think you covered it all. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Of course, thank you for coming on, and I'm so blessed to hear your story and for other people to hear it because it's so impactful, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Well, I can't wait to see what you do next. I think we are both in for a beautiful, magical couple of years.
I agree. Well, thank y'all for listening. Thank you, Liam, for coming on, and just hope y'all have a great rest of your month, and we'll see you back in July. Bye!